somewhat premature to say something like that, but he has not led early in a game any time this week. He does this time. This is a very bright start. And I get the feeling that Brewer's going to bring the aggression over the next couple of afternoons. It's time to let him off the leash, I think.
Tops. He eyes it up. He stares it down. Double 10. Doesn't go, and Milford has a route back into this match. Double 10 to bring it back to 3-2 and to force Brewer here to serve it out. What is it we say about left-handers on double 10? They never miss. And Milford brings it back to 3-2. Brewer now looking to serve it out. He has the darts to get over the line after missing 2 in hand in the previous leg. 76. He could get a dart at tops if this doesn't go. Going to get 2 more hand at double 8 and finds it and finds a win to kickstart his Group C campaign. Johan Brewer gets the better of Paul Milford by 4 legs to 2. Brewer getting off to a strong start. Milford grew into the game, but it was a case of too little, too late for him. As for Johan Brewer, well, he's the happiest man in the building right now. He gets the better of Paul Milford by 4 legs to 2. Coming up next, we're going to see the return of Alan Norris on this stage as he takes on Barry Copeland.
In a game. Now, Norris has got the 3rd. And he's got double 10.
Getting shot on the match.
And Alan Norris chucks in a superb performance to start. He gets over the line against Barry Copeland by 4 legs to 2. An average just under the 97 mark. 3 maximums in, and that's despite 11 missed starts at a double. And the legs he won were all in the space of 5 visits. A very good beginning to Alan Norris's Group C campaign, beating Barry Copeland by 4 legs to 2. Coming up next, Carl Sneed is in action as he takes on Steve West. The trophy's in the cabinet to show for it.
And he's coming back in 2 weeks to be in Champions Week. West is looking to win this game 4-0 on his beloved tops.
Game shot on the match.
And he climbs the ladder towards success. Well, Carl Sneed missed 7 darts at a double to win leg 1. Steve West nicked it, and from that point onwards, there was only ever one winner of that contest. He gets the better of Carl Sneed by 4 legs to 0, average just under 86, and that was after a slow start. Finishes off with the 120 out, 4 for 9 on the doubles in the end. That's the end of round 1. Coming up next is Johan Brewer up against Alan Norris.
Johan, your car.
Just didn't quite get the feel right of that dart. The first time or the second time.
Ear defenders at the ready. Because Brewer wants double 16 to square up at 2-2. He's giving her a good old stare down, isn't he? I don't think Alan's too pleased in the background mind.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Johan Brewer.
Well, Brewer is boiling up and Norris gives him a good old stare. He is not happy one bit.
If looks could kill, that's 27. And that leaves 39. He must not get this wrong.
I can guarantee you this. If Norris sets free at tops, I think he's going to get this. Just about in the single 7.
He's gone full Davis Schneider here. This is about a minute for 3 darts.
34.
And he doesn't find the double 16, and that could be curtains for this contest because Alan Norris is looking at tots for his 2nd consecutive victory. At times, it's been a bit ill-tempered. But Norris won't care because he's got the 2 points in hand. Alan Norris gets the better of Johan Brewer by 4 legs to 2. It was a game that at times was very, very tense. But it is Norris who gets over the line. He claims the 2 points, which puts him to the top of the table. He's won 2.
Steve car 76.
And I just wonder what happened in the last game. We know Steve very well. I think that would have ticked him a little bit. And I wonder whether that's going to force him into some of his best. It's a 15 darter. The average is 111.33. Just to kind of get the radar back on Kilter more than anything. Well, the radar's very much back now. It's a
140.
great last dart to
All the
leave
car,
himself on 56.
132.
And Milford's going to have to pop the champagne shot.
Yeah, that was an elite 140. But the bubbly shot is on.
$64.
Can West get it done this time? He doesn't want any more faffing.
36.
That's now
All the
9
car,
match
68.
darts that have come and gone for Steve West. And Paul Milford, by hook or by crook, could send this game all the way to a deciding leg. He has needed a little bit of a helping hand from his opponent. But he has to find the double two, which is
66.
unable to. And so
car,
West,
20.
for 4 points, to eventually cross the finishing line in this match.
Game
He
shot on the match,
eventually
Steve
finds that match-winning double on double 10 to get the better of Paul Milford by 4 legs to 2, for whom it's back-to-back 4-2 defeats to start his Super Series campaign. Well, the first 3 legs was Steve West at his best. It slowed down a little bit more towards the finishing line, hampered by 9 missed match darts. But with match dart number 10, he gets over the line by 4 legs to 2. He gets the better of Paul Milford. Coming up after the break, we're going to watch Barry Copeland up against Carl Sneed.
West, Norris. They might be the 3 season campaigners that might take those 2 spots. This is a difficult shot. That dart leans over and covers the bed,
Game
making
on the
that
first
shot
leg, Barry
a
Copeland.
miracle. I didn't think he was going to hit that portion of the bed at all.
Very interesting that Copeland has deviated between either going treble 20 double 10 or tops on an 80 shot. Tops is what Sneed wants here,
58.
and not what he's going to
Barry
get.
car, 40.
And so Copeland, to get his first win on the board, is looking at the target his opponent's just missed. And will
Game
take
on the
out
match,
first
Barry
time.
Copeland.
And Barry Copeland is on the board in this Group C. The daddy picks up his first points. He keeps his cool against Carl. And he is now very much in proceedings. A little bit of a let out of the pent-up emotions, followed by a little bit of relief. But it was a very good performance, that from Barry Copeland. 90.56 the average, 50% on the doubles. Well, I wouldn't miss this next game because I think this is going to be a little bit box office. I think it could be drama-packed, entertainment-filled. And if you like your darts with an air of edge, well, West and Brewer may well be the match for you.
Steve car, 84.
A matter of a week ago, we had Marvin van Velsen against Conan Whitehead.
Game shot on the first
And
leg,
there we
Steve
go.
West.
He's not going to be shying away from it. At least.
Second leg, Steve
Oh, and
car,
he's
game
left
on.
him hanging for about 10 seconds. He's losing friends out there. Anderson and Highbrecht. The UK Open Trilogy, the World Cup games, the double tops for 154s.
Game shot on the
Oh,
second
yeah.
leg, Steve West.
He loved that one. 2-0 West.
Third
And
leg,
that
Yoan
deserves a
to
fist
first.
pump from
Game
everybody
on.
around here.
West has just had a little glance up to the commentary box and he's just said...
2 5s. 3-0.
Game shot on the third leg, Steve West.
Now, he's done that in response
Four leg, Steve
to
first.
something that Johan did at the end of his previous visit. I heard from the commentary box a thud. I didn't know what it was at the time. I suspected that Johan had stamped on the stage. Now,
85.
West has done it in response, as if to say, don't do that.
For what would be his second 4-0 win in 3 matches. He's looking as if he's the dominant force in this group. He
Game shot on the
pins
match,
the
Steve
double
West.
8 to win the contest against Johan Brewer. Contest which was boiling up and perhaps boiling over at times. Smiles on the faces as the game comes to a close. A smile on the face of Steve West as he exits the stage. He has a conversation with Paul Hinks about that contest, which at times brewed up, but Brewer couldn't quite keep up with Steve West, who's becoming a bit of a runaway train at the top of this Group C. 3 wins from 3 for him. Coming up next, Alan Norris can join him on the 6-point mark. And Steve still is on the stage and he is pointing and gesticulating to his pocket because that's where he feels Johan Brewer is. Well, we are going to take a break. West has pocketed the points and maybe a little bit more. And coming up next, we're going to watch Alan Norris up against Carl Sneed.
Darts
your
company
car,
right now is
160.
thinking, well, there's a good idea. Some sort of moisture retraction device to leave on the table. Doesn't need one. Tops.
Game shot
Didn't
on the
need
third
one at
leg.
all.
Alan Norris.
Wonderful checkout from Chuck.
Bit like some other venues then.
Thanks for that. Thanks for this.
128.
That was his first match start for the week.
145.
And that would have been something. A game that involved a 160 and a 161. But 33 points will
57.
seal
Carlo
the
Carr,
first
33.
2 points in Group C for Carl.
And it would condemn Alan Norris to his first defeat. It will congeal the table up a little bit more. Double 10.
Game shot on the mat.
It's found for Carl Sneed as he picks up his first win of his Group C campaign. He beats the previously undefeated Alan Norris by 4 legs to 2, who at times was just struggling a little bit with grip in the hot conditions, but Carl Sneed was the one who kept his cool to cross the finishing line. 88.66 the average, 4 from 7 on his doubles. He beats Alan Norris 4-2. Coming up after the break, we're going to watch Paul Milford in action as he takes on Barry Copeland.
Barry Carr, 72.
On the double so far, 2 hits from 3, which means this is real trouble for Milford once again. Laser-like focus and a laser-like shot. He's looking at 1-2-1 to finish the match off in 6 legs. This has been a really, really good, solid Thursday for Copeland so far.
Barry Carr, 121.
However, Milford is just a little bit further behind. However, he's left a bogey number. He couldn't have done anything about it. And this is a match start all of a sudden.
Milford can't do anything about it because Copeland is charging up the league standings. Brilliant once again. And the daddy is showing who is the daddy in this Group C. He gets the better of Paul Milford by 4 legs to 2. Well, that game was an illustration as to how scoring power can really help you in a contest. Barry Copeland in that match with 17 scores of a ton or more, and that was in comparison to just 9 of Paul Milford. It afforded him the first opportunities at a double in the match, and he took 4 out of 5 of them, including that 1-2-1 to finish off. And that was a 12-dart leg on throw. Coming up after the break, we're going to watch Steve West and Alan Norris go toe-to. You could say that this is Steve up against Alan.
Maintain a very high level of play.
He's got 6 darts here for 1-2-2. He may only need the 3. Because he's here, there, and everywhere right now is Steve West. The 1-2-2 joins the 120 and 154 in his ton-plus checkout club.
64.
Going through the card, he's going about it in dominant fashion. 1 dart in his hand at tops. To seal a 4-0 success. And Steve West continues his domination of this Group C. He has dropped just 2 legs for the day in 4 matches. He moves on to 8 points at the top of the table, and he looks in fine fettle now as he looks ever so closer, or edges ever so closer possibly, to Saturday night qualification. 95.43 the end average, 4 from 5 on the checkouts. That 1-2-2, well, that was the moment that really set the wheels in motion. Right, we're going to head for a short break. When we return, we're going to watch Barry Copeland up against Johan Brewer. This could be another game where the tungsten testosterone levels could reach another peak.
Now, somehow, Barry's got to stop that train that is Johan Brewer. However, he can't stop the train at the minute.
Johan Brewer.
Really working hard to get to 4 points. And if he does win this match, Brewer, now this is a very realistic opportunity. And Copeland is livid at the fact that he could be beaten.
It's double 10. It's Brewer who gets the points. Yes, it's in, Johan. And yes, you've won your 2nd match of the day. Him and Barry Copeland will have to stay on 4 points. But look at what it means to Johan Brewer. He's even having a celebration straight at Paul Hinks. He's still enjoying himself on that stage. He's still celebrating. We've gone to the stats, and I can tell you now, he's walking down the hockey, and he's literally dancing up and down it as he's walked back off the stage. Incredible scenes, incredible match. Brewer wins 4-1 against Copeland, and actually there's a little bit of a flashpoint off the stage between the pair as they've departed it, but Brewer has beaten Barry Copeland by 4-1. And coming up next, Carl Sneed will take on Paul Milford, and it will consign Paul Milford to the bottom of the table. Another decent performance from Carl Sneed. And it's that happy hunting ground of double 10 again. And how many times has he found that last dart in hand? And Carl Sneed finds his second win in 2. As for Paul Milford, well, that's his 4th defeat today. He hasn't played bad, but he hasn't been able to catch a break. And he's going to have to win his last game, and then probably have to run through the card tomorrow if he's going to stand a chance. Sneed 4, Milford 2. And so into the final round we go. We see Copeland, we see West, and we're going to see them up next. And you probably have thought on the basis of play today, if anybody's able to pick apart Steve West, it may well be Barry Copeland based on his high level. And he's beginning to play some good stuff. He's looking at tops of the 114. In it goes, into the top left-hand corner. And once again, Copeland finds tops on the back of a combo.
81.
Now we have an important moment. Game on.
75.
Or game over.
81.
Milford looking at 81 to see the match through. He'll be the first player to depose of Steve West today. He'll put him on 6 points. He's got 2 in hand at double 12. He finds double 12 and finishes off with an 11 darter. Barry Copeland gets the better of Steve West by 4-2. And it means that he ends the day on 6 points in the group. For Steve West, well, it was a very good day. He won his first 4 matches with a concession of just 2 legs. But he could only win 2 legs in that match. And so it's Copeland who'll pick the points up as we go into our last couple of matches. And we are, after the break, going to watch Paul Milford in action. He has to win. Simple as that. As he takes on Alan Norris. He has attacked these finishes all day when his opponent hasn't been on and out. He's not going to get the opportunity to elect for the bullseye, but he is going to leave himself double 12 after 12.
Well, if he hits that double 12 with the first start, this is going to be the best average of the day.
57.
And he will be the first person in this group to average over 100. And only the 3rd person to do so this week.
Well, Alan chucks in his best darts for last, an average just under 102 as he beats Paul Milford by 4-0 for whom today. And it was a little bit of a disaster at points. He played well, but just couldn't quite get the timing up together in the key moments. But in that one, Alan Norris was just the dominant force. Average of 101.9. 4 from 8 on the doubles. He moves on to 6 points in the group. And the winner of our last game between Johan Brewer and Carl Sneed, they will also find themselves on 6. And we're going to watch that game on the other side of this break.
Maybe not.
Johan 88.
Well, it's going to be for Johan. You feel like it's now or never in this match.
Well, it's either Johan or Nohan. Double 7.
Game shot on the 3rd leg. Johan Brewer.
He's stone. We know what ceiling he's got. But 114. Double 18. Oh, Carl. We love it. So do you. Yeah, plugs at the ready, everybody. There's a small matter of the best part of 20 points between these two in the averages. Johan has played poorly in this game. Sneed now has his first chance to put him away.
Double 16. Well, that's a happy accident.
For the 2nd time in the game. For both players. It's double 16 to win.
And it is a win for Carl Sneed, who with a hat-trick of wins to end the day has ended Thursday strong. He puts himself bang in position to qualify for finals night. As for Johan Brewer, well, he has had some trials and tribulations today. He's kind of been the story of the day, if the truth be told, but it is Carl Sneed who wins by 4-2 in our final match of the session. A day where we've seen a lot of 4-2s, if the truth be told. It's a day which sees Steve West top the pile, having won 4 out of 5. Barry Copeland also impressive on this Thursday. And myself and Paul Nicholson will talk about every single dart that's gone in after this short break. Welcome back to the Motor Super Series. We've had one heck of an afternoon session here in the live lounge. Of course, myself and Paul Nicholson have been watching every single dart in the commentary box. This is what we've seen. Well, Steve West was the player of the day, winning 4 out of 5. He takes command of the group, but there's a plethora of players on 6 points. It's all to play for. Everybody is still in it. Paul Milford will probably have to go through the card to stand a chance about a win on day one. But Paul Nicholson alongside me here to reflect upon what we have seen. There's only one place really we can start, and that is Steve West, who day upon day is just continuing to improve.
Yeah, I think reps are what he needed this week. Monday was okay. Tuesday was better. Wednesday was very good. Today, it was almost dominant. But when you look at the table, things aren't looking as dominant as he could have hoped. He did lose his last match, and because he's got people just behind him by 2 points, he's going to sleep well tonight knowing he's top of the table, but he's going to come back tomorrow with real motivation. But he's played some great stuff today, and he's taken full advantage of people when they didn't play well against him.
Well, Barry Copeland was the only player to deny Steve West to win today in that final game of the session. And come this time tomorrow, this could well be the game we speak about.
Yeah, possibly. Look at what they're doing to each other. West on for a 12-darter, doesn't get it, and Copeland comes back for the same shot and does what Steve didn't. That was a tremendous quality match. And I'm really looking forward to them playing each other in the first round tomorrow, because it could stipulate where we go from there.
Well, let's talk about Barry in a bit more detail, because actually there was points today where he was absolutely superb. There was glimpses of it in group play, particularly on Monday, and it looked like he's really refound that form, rediscovered that form today. Yeah,
parts of it. But there's still this lingering doubt of whether he can string 3 wins together from 3 matches. It's very much a win-loss kind of situation that he finds himself in predominantly. But when he gets it right, he gets it very right. There's definitely something there. It's just a question of game-on-game consistency. And if he can string 3 wins together out of the first 3 rounds tomorrow, then he could be the person to catch. But West has very much got his eye on Copeland for the first game tomorrow. Make no doubt about that.
Talking about players that when they're on, they're very much on. Alan Norris was that today.
Yeah, I mean, 101.9 in his last game. Played superbly well, didn't he? Almost went a bit missing in the middle of the schedule and booked his ideas up when it came to his last round. But 2 performances that bookended his daily campaign that he'll be really pleased with. And looking at some of his numbers on the Challenge Tour, he hasn't been doing that on the Challenge Tour and in other places this year. So nice to see him put in 2 really good performances, and he did get another win on top of that as well.
Well, let's have a look at the table then, following the first day's play, because Steve West does lead it. 8 points to his name. Could have been 10, but 8 will do for him. Copeland, Norris and Sneed on 6. Paul Milford out a win to his name. But not usually do we say that the headliner of the day is the player in 5th place, but that's exactly been the case with Johan Brewer. 4 points to his name, but has been involved in some really interesting battles over the course of the day. In particular, that one against Alan Norris. In particular, that one against Steve West. We know that he's a player that wears his heart on his sleeve. Was the heart maybe a little bit too much on the sleeve today?
Well, I think what we've seen from him over the last 3 days has not been a surprise, because he's done it the last time he was here. And unfortunately, when he was in Group B, it was to his detriment, because he just ran out of steam. The amount of intensity that he brings to the Modus Live Lounge is very watchable, but when you're playing against it, it can be distracting. I think there was only maybe a couple of occasions today where he went across the line, stamping on the hockey. Don't do that again. If you do, you will get a warning from the referee. And he was quite lucky that at that point in time, Steve West was ready to just get rid of him, because if that was against some other opponents that shall remain nameless, that wouldn't have gone without a little bit more action on the hockey, that's for sure. But yeah, tomorrow, when the pressure is at its highest of trying to make Saturday, he's just got to temper it right. But if he can win his first game tomorrow, there's going to be 4 players 2 points behind Steve West. Fascinating stuff.
And I suppose that's the key, isn't it? Because you don't want players to be robots. You don't want them to be in their shells. You want them to play the game in a fashion that they feel comfortable with. Is it about fine-tuning that? So, look, there's nothing wrong with every now and then allowing those celebrations to creep in, and we don't want players to not be themselves. But is it making sure that it's that fine line between doing it at the right times and then just maybe when he needs to calming it down a little bit?
He's got to find happy medium. Think about some players who have had the same sort of exuberance, energy. Michael van Gerwen used to be like that. Think about the Grand Prix final in 2012 when people were looking at him saying, he's celebrating too much, he's too vibrant. Over the course of time, it became the norm. And I think with Brewer, it's a case of finding that happy medium of what energy he needs to play his best darts. He's not playing his best darts this week, but he's still in contention. If he can find that happy medium or get closer to it tomorrow, he could be a factor. But there are players playing better than him in this group at this point in time.
Just quickly, a few thoughts and few reflections ahead of tonight's Group B session.
Really happy for Steve. Great to see him playing well with minimal pain. Really happy for Norris. I wasn't sure what we were going to get from him today. I'm really happy that he's put in 2 really good performances, but Carl Sneed, I'm impressed.
Again, we've not spoken about, have we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's gone way under the radar, and if he can have a better start tomorrow, he could be someone that we have to talk about. I was impressed with him at the end.
As always, you've been impressive. Thank you very much, Nico, for your company as ever. We're going to be back at 10 o'clock this evening on the Super Series YouTube channel. However, in September, we're having the Red Dragon Motors Super Series Darts Influencer Showdown. No queue for that either. And we're going to have tickets on sale for that in the next few minutes or so. So if you head over to www.dartshot.tv, you can be here for what was a special night last time. And we're going to be doing it all again in a few weeks' time. Bye from us.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! We're not going to need that. Bosh. High face is through.
It's Charlie Milford!
First half from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Oh, wow. The crowd was jeering. The crowd was giving him a little bit of stick there.
It is the screaming sensation that is Copeland!